The touch of your hand makes me do love. And it's a smile on your face. The smile on your face. And as time goes by, I know I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Roberta, the Dual Lady, and welcome to Put It All on Red. I have a guest, and would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Megan Claire Murphy. I'm the creator of the Aunt Nene Show. It's a show on YouTube for kids. It has songs, stories, jokes, educational content, and more. And so that's what I've been doing lately is the Aunt Nene Show. I'm also an actress.
Oh.
Yeah, I like the applause.
Oh. Right. Well, what I read about you, Megan, look, first of all, I know what you said you're doing right now, and I did watch some of your videos. I was really, it was very interesting to me. Yeah, it looks like you do a lot of shorts, but they're all for education and all for children. And but I want to go back because you said you've been acting 20 years. So Megan is actually an actress. What I did read about Megan is that she also she went to New York and stayed for a little bit. She worked off of Broadway, and it looked like Megan can also sing. Now, in her shorts on YouTube, in which she does sing a couple of children's songs here and there, and of course, we know if children are your audience, you know they're not that critical, right? So, Megan, could you tell us about how did you start? Where are you from?
I'm from a small town in southeastern Alabama. How did I start? Well, I've always been singing ever since I could talk. My mom said when I was like 2 years old, literally when I learned how to talk, I started singing. And I've been singing and, playing pretend when I was little and putting on little shows for my parents in the living room. And when I was in high school, I was in my first full-length play. I was in Hello Dolly. I was a chorus member in that. And then, so I did theater in high school in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And then when I graduated, I majored in theater at a school called Troy University. I got my bachelor's degree in theater. And then after that, I worked a couple of odd jobs. I worked at this one theater called the Jewish Ensemble Theater, which is in near Detroit, Michigan. And I was the intern there, which basically means I did a little bit of everything that has to do with theater: sets, costumes, box office, props. And I also got to do some acting while I was there. They do a children's play called I Was Just Kidding, which teaches kids about how not to be a bully and how to be nice and how to be a good friend and how bullying is wrong. And so I did that for a year, and then I moved back home to Alabama. And then a couple years later, I decided to move to New York City because I moved to New York instead of like LA or somewhere, because New York is where Broadway and where theater is. And that's what I wanted to do. Like I had dreams. I still have dreams of being on Broadway one day. I did get to work in an off-Broadway theater while I was there doing sketch comedy. I also did a couple of children's plays while I was there. We did Cinderella for children, and the Wizard of Oz children's play. And I didn't come as far as I thought I would when I got to New York. I
Okay.
thought I was going to be on Broadway within a year, but that didn't happen. But my point is, what I'm trying to say is, I came a lot further than where I started from. So I'm happy that I came as, you know, I'm happy about that. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now, I mean, I'm asking that because I think, and I really resonate with you saying you came from town. I also came from a small town, and I'm from the Midwest, so I'm from Oklahoma.
Hmm.
So I can resonate with that. But it sounds like you had some pretty big dreams,
Yeah,
and so
I
that
still have big
intrigues me
dreams.
because that's what, and that's wonderful to steal dreams, right? Well, now, Megan, could you tell me, like, I know you said you went to college for theater. Now, what were some of the hurdles, going from high school on into um, just deciding, hey, this is what I want to do? What were some of your barriers you had or your hurdles?
Well, when I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to major in college. I was an undecided major for the first 2 years of college, and I went to a junior college for the first 2 years. And I was in show choir at the junior college. And one day I just thought to myself, you know what? This is no longer just an extracurricular activity. Like, I thought, this is what I'm going to do for my life. And so I decided to audition for an acting scholarship at Troy University, and I got the scholarship. And so then my junior year of college, I transferred to Troy, and it took me 3 years to get my bachelor's degree at Troy. So I went to college for 5 years, even though I got a 4 year degree, if that makes sense. But it was it wasn't really that there wasn't really that many difficulties in high school and college. It was after I graduated that the difficulties came. And
Okay, so life started life, but
yeah.
now, Megan, let's hold on. So you're telling me your family, because I'm thinking, because I'm from a small town. So I know, me being from a small town, if I told the people that I was around in
Oh
that
yeah.
small town, hey,
There
I'm
there
going to be an actress, they would thought that I just fell off of something and bumped my saying, uh, I'm from a small town, and the most exciting thing, or the most thing they wanted us to do as girls or women, was FHA. It wasn't necessarily say, you know what, I'm gonna move to a big city and I'm gonna become an actress, and or even for that sake, I'm gonna be on a podcast, or I'm gonna be on YouTube. So you're telling me you didn't hear any of that?
well,
People were like, yeah, Megan,
when I
that's gonna be workable. Is that what
when
you're
I
telling me?
when I first told my parents that I wanted to become an actress and that I wanted to major in theater, there was definitely some resistance and some big arguments over, like, a weeks and weeks of arguments, and me yelling and screaming and telling them, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. Please let me do this. And so, but they finally gave in, and it actually happened. Like, even after college, there was still some resistance. Like, they didn't really believe that I could make a career out of this. You know what I mean? But one day I played Maria in The Sound of Music for a community theater play, And one day my dad saw me performing and he said, after the performance, he said, "Okay, Megan, I think this is what you're supposed to do. After watching you on that stage, you come alive on that stage. And I saw you tonight. You look truly happy. And I think this is what you're meant to do. And I'm going to support you from now on." And they have. And they agreed to help pay my rent while I lived in New York, even. And I'm fortunate enough that I have parents that are able to do something like that. And I realize that. And I'm very grateful. But once I got to New York to start pursuing acting professionally, it was really hard because there's a lot of rejection. You get told no many more times than you get told yes. And I went to audition after audition after audition and get told no, no, no. And it got me down a lot of the times. I had some really low points where I got really depressed and discouraged because of all the rejection that I was experiencing. And then it took me a while to learn the lesson, but I finally learned the lesson that, you know what, it's not personal. Like when they watch you do these auditions and it's not personal. Like maybe they were looking for somebody who's tall and I'm short. It has nothing to do with my performance or me or who I am. It's not going to change who I am, for one thing. And it's just business. They're just making a business decision about whether or not to cast you. You know what I mean? Most of the time, it's
Okay.
it's not
Okay.
it's not like it doesn't mean that you're not worthy or that you're not good enough. It just means that they had an opinion and that was the decision that they decided to make, and you can take yourself out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And someone said a support system is needed. I would say a big support system. That's why I said, I can only imagine the opposition that you would get from a small town, because most of the times you say certain things, or I even say certain things, and I come off really strange to some people that I was, reared with, because the thoughts are different from, being in a small town, and also not seeing a lot of people do certain things, right? So having that exposure. So you say when you got to New York, the culture was different.
Yeah. Um, New York is a very different place than
Would you say
Alabama.
that?
Yeah. It's a little bit they don't have that small town southern hospitality, like I take that back. Actually, I found that most of the people in New York that I had interactions with were actually nice and kind. Some of them were not so nice, but most of the ones that mattered were kind. They're actually good people.
Oh,
It's definitely a different culture, but I feel like I didn't really fit in Alabama. I feel like my views and stuff align more with the New York culture, politically at least. But
okay. Okay.
and as far as the
All right.
resistance from the people in the small town, there wasn't a lot of resistance from the townspeople in my hometown. Most of them knew me. My dad was a pharmacist. He was a well-known person in the town, and most of the people in the town knew my dad and they knew who I was and they liked me and they didn't tell me you shouldn't do that or anything like that. Nobody except my parents told me that, but they just thought that I needed something to fall back on. When I told them I wanted to major in theater in college, they wanted me to major in like pharmacy or something and do theater on the side. And I was like, no, I'm going to be an actress. This is what I'm going to do.
Okay. And how did that?
There is no fallback. What?
Okay. And how did you feel when they were telling you that? Because it's almost like counseling a dream. But I said, how did you feel when they were telling you that? Because it's almost like counseling out a dream. It's almost like saying, okay, you can do it, but do this instead and dream on the side, right?
It was frustrating for sure. And I felt angry a lot of times. Like I said, there were some huge arguments between me and my parents about what I was going to major in college. But I think they finally just gave up and gave in. And then I got a scholarship, so made it a little bit less of a blow for them, I guess. Made it easier, I'm trying to say. So eventually they just let me major in theater. I realize I've been very fortunate because I have a really good support system from my parents. Maybe not in the very beginning, but now they're very supportive. And the rest of my family is very supportive as well.
Okay.
My brother and
Okay.
sister-in-law
Now,
especially.
I noticed you said, and when I was reading your bio, it said that you had acted some, you acted in some shows, or um, what shows were they?
You mean the theater shows? The
Uh-huh.
theater
Well,
shows?
was it theater? Did you, yeah, or did you do any television shows, or?
I did both. I'll tell you some of my favorite theater roles were Maria in The Sound of Music. Um, I liked being a part of the sketch comedy company in New York. We perform sketch comedy shows in an off Broadway theater every 3 or 4 months. I did that for several years. And I played Sister Amnesia in Nonsense and I played Shelby in Steel Magnolias, the play version. And I actually, as far as TV and film goes, I actually worked as an extra, as a background extra in a lot of the TV shows and movies that film in New York. I worked on Law and Order SVU, Boardwalk Empire, Blue Bloods, The Good Wife. I was on this one show called Blind Spot. I was a regular on that one. I played a FBI agent. And I got to work a lot on TV shows as a background extra when I lived in New York. And it was fun.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. And did you lead any shows, any movies, or was it mostly theater?
It it was both theater and TV shows. Like I did the theater for my number one occupation, and then doing the background work on the TV shows and movies was my survival job because it paid money. So I did both
Okay,
is the
all
answer to your
right.
question.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, if you look back, I know you said you love theater. Which was your favorite theater?
What?
Which one was your favorite?
I think Maria in The Sound of
Which
Music. I said it was Maria in The Sound of Music.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was my favorite
Oh,
because you get to sing all
okay.
the classic songs like
All right.
Doe, a deer, a female deer, and Raindrops on roses and whiskers on
Yeah.
kittens. Those were fun songs to sing. And I got to work with
Oh yeah.
kids in that show, which was
Okay.
helped me prepare for making a kids
Okay.
show. Helped me prepare for the Aunt Nene show working with kids.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, we're gonna get to that the Aunt Nene show. I remember we're about 40. We're an hour show, so we gonna get to that.
Okay.
So that's
I'm
why
gonna
we're itching our way to it. So
okay.
um, I could tell the theater part when I was watching the Aunt Nene show. I could tell that you did sing. As I said, I could tell. I was like, well, I think she's a pretty good singer too. And I could tell that it was some of those songs like that. I noticed it was one that I was watching when you did this notes that you play, and I thought that was pretty neat.
The
I
um
when you
the do
taught the
re
notes,
mi.
can you recall that one?
The do re mi. Yeah. I couldn't hear what you said.
Yes. Oh, I said that I noticed that you had one reel where you were teaching the notes,
Oh yeah. That's the do re mi
and I
song.
asked, "Can you recall that one?"
Yes, I can. Do you want me to sing it? Hello?
Yes, it is. It is.
You want me to sing it?
Yes.
Okay.
All
My
right.
voice is kind of tired right now, but I will.
I said if you would like to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
it. No, doe, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. I can't sing very well right now. It's 8:30 at night. I'm sorry, but it goes like that. And you can see on the video where I did sing it pretty well. But my voice is tired right now
You did.
because it's the end of the day.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So now, someone asked, were you relocating? Are you going to be staying? Are you in Alabama now?
Yes, I'm in Alabama now, and I plan to stay here for at least a few more years. And then the goal is to
And are you going to
monetize.
make Alabama your home?
I'm trying to answer you. Um, I'm gonna stay in
Oh, okay.
Alabama for a few more years, and then the goal is to monetize my YouTube channel and start making a modest amount of money from it, and then save up that money and move back to New York City after a few more years, depending on how it goes.
Okay. Okay. So how long have you been back at home?
For about 5 years now,
How many
since
years?
2018. I said I've been home for about 5 years now.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. And so, and I see that you have picked up on your audience on YouTube as well. It looks like you've picked up on it really well. Over how long have you been doing Aunt Nene?
Since March of last year, so about a year and 3 or 4 months now. A year and 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I started in March of
Okay.
last year.
Now, do you have a husband? Do you have
No,
children?
no, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm not married and I don't have any kids right now.
Okay.
I do have one nephew though, who's like, he's my only niece or nephew, and he's 7 years old, so he's like my child right now because I don't have any kids of my own yet. even though I'm 39
Okay.
and I am
Okay.
dating, but
Okay.
I'm not married
So
yet.
is that how Aunt Nene started?
What? Yeah, my
Is,
nephew
is
is
that
how
how
Aunt
Aunt Nene
Nene started.
started?
Yes, it was inspired by my 7-year-old nephew who calls me Aunt Nene because when he was a little baby, he couldn't say Megan. So he was like, somebody was like, "Who is that?" And he was like, "Aunt Nene."
Okay.
And so he's called me Aunt Nene ever since. And that inspired me to make the Aunt Nene character and make it into a show. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. And what is your vision with Aunt Nene? I know you said it was to be monetized. What is your vision with Aunt
Well,
Nene?
that to be monetized is the practical vision, but the real reason I started doing the show was to make my nephew happy. And then I kept doing it because I wanted to make other kids happy too, and to inspire them and educate them and entertain them. And I just I love doing it. It's fun and it doesn't feel like work, and I get to make kids happy, and doing that is what makes me happy in turn. And yeah, I do, to be honest, yeah, I do hope to make
Okay.
some money from it one day because I don't have a day job right now and I want to make some of my own income so that I can move back to New York, one, but just to have my own money. You know what I'm saying? So, but the main reason that I'm gonna keep on doing it no matter what happens is because I enjoy making kids happy. And that's the truth. Do
Okay. Okay.
you want me to
And
answer
I know
the
you said you work on. Okay.
what?
Well, I believe now. Do you have
I can't.
what other dreams do you have?
Oh, I do want to get
I
married
said,
and have
what other dreams do you have?
I do want to get married and have kids one day.
Okay.
That's one of my dreams. And I want to travel the world. I want to have a career as an actress outside of the Aunt Nene show, like in movies, and I want to be on Broadway one day. I still haven't realized that dream, so that's still one of my dreams. I want to be on Broadway at least once in my life. Um, I want to help raise my nephew and help shape him into a good person, hopefully, or at least be a good aunt towards him and nurture him. And I want to spend time with my family. Mm,
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much my dreams.
You said, what else did you say?
I said, yeah, that's pretty much all my
What
dreams
was
that
the
I can
last
think
thing you
of.
said?
I said, that's all my dreams that I can
Yeah.
think of.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a lot. Now, is that the little boy on your page that says Aunt Nene? Is that him
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
on your YouTube
That's my
channel?
friend's kid. That's, you saw the video of the two little African American boys? No, that's not my nephew. That's my friend's
No,
kids.
okay. No, there's another little boy on there
A
that's by
redheaded little
himself.
boy?
Okay.
Is it a redheaded little
Yes.
boy? Oh, that's my other friend's kid.
Yes. Oh,
My
okay.
nephew, I don't.
So those are your,
Those are just friends' kids.
huh?
Those are just kids of my friends.
Okay, so those
My
are your
actual,
endorsements.
I guess, if you want to call it that. But my actual nephew, I don't want him to appear on the Aunt Nene show for safety reasons because I don't want, you know, I want to keep him safe and keep him
Okay.
private. I don't want people to know what he looks
Okay.
like or what his name is or things like that.
Okay. Well,
And neither do his parents. So I have to follow what they say too.
okay. So you see Aunt Nene getting bigger and you're save his autonomy.
Yeah.
Okay. All
I mean,
right.
after
Well,
after he
again, if you would tell the audience, I think what we're gonna do, I, uh-huh,
I didn't say anything.
Megan, you want to repeat that again? Oh,
I
I
didn't
thought you
say
said
anything.
after something.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, I bet they're pretty happy that, huh? What I said
I
is
didn't
I
say
bet they're
anything.
pretty happy that you did name your show. That's still an honor to be called Ain't Nene. Huh?
Yeah,
No,
I
I
guess.
said I'm presenting a question. Yeah, I said it's still an honor to be Aunt Nene, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Because that's a pretty big honor, to be an aunt.
Oh yeah, like when I found out that my nephew was gonna be
Yeah.
born, like my
Um.
whole life changed
So
and I found
who
my
writes your
purpose.
curriculums for you,
What?
or how do you schedule your shows?
Oh, I just it's every Saturday once a week on every Saturday morning around 10 or 11 o'clock, depending on when I post it. But I try to post it on Saturday mornings by 11 a.m. every Saturday.
Okay.
Was that the
And
question you were asking?
yes, yes, yes. I was going to ask you, what is your content?
Um,
How do you decide what content you're going to use?
well, a lot of the songs came from Girl Scout camp. They were songs that I learned at Girl Scout camp when I was growing up. I will I'm not going to take credit for making them up cuz I did not make them up myself. I'm going to go ahead and come clean with that. But yeah, so a lot of the songs are from Girl Scout camp and then some of the stories, like I did write that stuff. I did write the stories that I told on there. And there's jokes and there's education. We're going to have
Okay.
more educational content in the future because we're going to bring on special guest stars. Just like I'm a guest on your show today, we're going to have other guests come on my show, the Aunt Nene show. And so that's going to
Okay.
be coming up later this summer. We have the first guest. She's a lady who is a
Okay.
financial advisor, and she's going to be teaching the kids basic facts about money. For example, like this is a quarter is 25 cents. This is a nickel. If you save all your nickels in the
Okay.
bank, you can save it up and buy a jetpack.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say
Right. Well, I
is
think that's good. Economics.
yes, exactly.
Okay. Well,
Did you say so?
that's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Very, yeah, I think so too. Teaching economics, stuff that kids
Mhm.
really don't really learn a lot of,
Yeah.
unless it's in a curriculum in a classroom. It's usually like how to
Yeah.
second and third grade type information. Sometimes the coins are maybe first grade, but for the most part, that's a good start.
Mhm.
That piques the interest of a child.
Yeah, but she's going to be our first guest.
Um,
And then after that, we're having a guest
okay.
on who
Well,
is
I
a.
think we're going to go ahead and get ready to end our show. And Aunt Nene, I'm going to be sure to have you back next time you're on. We can certainly, uh, I, yes,
I couldn't hear you. What?
you were saying?
I don't know because I don't know what you said.
Oh, I said, I think we're going to go ahead and close out
Okay.
because we are having some issues with our our with the streaming. And what we'll do is I would be honored to have you back on.
Okay. Let's do that. Sounds
What
good.
what'd you say?
I said, sounds good.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute, what'd you say?
No, I didn't say.
Yeah, because honestly, Megan, you have been such a good sport tonight, but and usually the interview is a little bit more clearer and a lot more. So it just makes it easier for us to kind of get into a whole conversation about you,
Yeah.
because that's what we wanted it to be about. And I do appreciate you back on, and I will see what we can do about these things
Okay.
going on with as far as the streaming. Um, but now, before we go, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience about yourself?
About myself. Um, I'll
Yes.
say the thing that I always say at the end of every Aunt Nene episode. You are kind, you are smart, you are important, and you can find me on YouTube. The name of my YouTube channel is my name, Megan Claire Murphy 2. That's Megan Claire Murphy 2. And I'm also on Facebook under the name Megan Claire Murphy. And there's a playlist on my YouTube channel. You go up to the top and you click on playlist. And then there's one that says The Aunt Nene Show. And there's like 30 episodes on there, I think now. Around 20, 28 or 30 episodes on there. I don't remember. But so there's also a lot of other videos on my YouTube channel that are not part of the Aunt Nene Show, and most of those are okay for kids to watch too. But it's up to the parents to watch those first and then decide if they think it's okay for their kids. And thank you for having me. And I'm looking forward to coming back soon. And I hope everybody has a good night.
Yes, I am looking forward to it because, like I said, all right, and thank you to the audience for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your time as well. We really enjoyed Megan Murphy. Again, she's Aunt Nene on YouTube. If you have children, she's got a little educational and some singing and some old traditional music is on there as well. Like she said, she's not going to take credit for some of the older songs. Pretty good. If you have children, it actually caught on. caught my eye, and teaching the notes of the song of music as well. That's something you don't see in education anymore, because they have taken music, a lot of music out of schools, you know. So I thought that was neat as well. So other than that, good night, love you all, and peace. All right. Night,
There's
thank
a
you.
sparkle in your eyes. I feel the warmth of your skin.
Night.
Just the touch of your hand.